All right, so I'm going to take us to this Excel sheet here. And the reason why I'm bringing this Excel sheet up is because I see some of you, you just send something to me like, Bishop, this is one system, somebody told me about it, and then you send your referral link. Most of the time I'll not even look at it, right? Because I can't look at everything. Like I told you guys just today, if you're in several WhatsApp groups, there are over 28, over 30 WhatsApps happening right now as we're talking. So, and I can't do everything for all of us, right? If you want me to perhaps listen to a system that you have, this is what I want you to do. This is what I would traditionally do with a system. I'm going to explain each and every one of them, and then we'll call it a wrap today. Number one, what is the return? Let's say this is a company, E-mini FX. What is the return that company is giving you, right? Is it 20% per month, something per day? Put it in a table. What is that return? If you don't have this, then what are you basing your decision to do it or not to do it on? What are you basing it on? So, for instance, if I have a system that would take me 6 months to break even, 1 year to break even, I would want to consider other things before determining if it is a high risk or a low risk venture. There are other things I want to consider. So I want to know, first of all, what is the return like? If I'm not inviting anybody, I'm not inviting any single person. I'll drop the Excel sheet in the group. If I'm not inviting anybody at all, I'm not doing MLM. How long will it take me to break even? I want to know that. You should know that. If you are telling me, okay, Bishop, please help me check something, fill this Excel sheet, then we can talk, right? Then we can look at it. And I don't have to do it to share it to the group, right? If it's your own, I share your link, no problem. I'll share your link, even if I'm not doing it. That's not a problem, right? We're here to help each other out. Now, where are they located? Where is this company located? It matters. Believe it or not, if you are new, I know some of you here, maybe IPC was your first, some IML. If you are new, if any system is emanating from Asia, it is automatically tagged a scam. Right? Singapore, Malaysia, China, all of them. Not because they are all scams, but majority of the scams on the internet right now emanates from those regions. So it's just safe to assume that they are scams until proven otherwise, until your data tells you something else. So where is the location? It matters. So recently, their modus operandi has changed. It will still be owned by an Asian, but then they will now look for somebody in US, in Canada, in Australia, in England, somewhere to front, to be the CEO, to be the MD, just because they know if they come out and say, we are the owners, people will shrink back, right? So you want to look at location and ownership. Okay, I think I've jumped to ownership. Let me focus on location. Location. Now, why is location very important? Location is important because certain countries have certain requirements you must meet for you to be able to operate from their shores, right? So if you're operating in US, for instance, tax issues will come in and all of that. Any company that has an office operating in US, the tendency that they won't be out to scam ab initio is high. Now, I'm using the word ab initio because I have tried some businesses before, even with some friends. And between us sitting down discussing this business, we didn't plan to lose people's money. But something just happened and the money got missing, right? A trade went south, something happened. So some businesses people tax scams might not originally be planned out to be a scam. The hack could be true. The government ban could be true. I mean, the in-house greed of somebody running away with money could be true. In fact, I forgot, I wanted to show us something. I forgot there was a particular guy. I'll look for that name and post. The guy is a 30-year-old or 29-year-old guy that died. He's a CEO, the CEO of a company. I think that was about 5-6 years ago. He died and he had the keys to people's investment worth millions of dollars. And that was all. It wasn't that he even cheated them. He died. And that was all. Right? If you are in this generation, I used to tell my wife that in the generation of our parents, when a man knows, or a man is preparing for death, or is preparing his family for the future, he prepares a will. In our generation, it is not will. You give your password and passphrase to your family. But that's where the money is going to be. Right? One Bitcoin is in some years now be worth more than some big mansion. So you can't write, if you are writing your will and you are giving Bitcoin to somebody, you still have to give certain details out. And the guy died, and that was all. Right, so let's look at location. Location matters. What are the legal, that country, for example, if you're having a business and your business is in India, or your business is in Nigeria, or your business is in somewhere where regulations are not tight, you should know that anything could happen. That should put one red flag on the business, right? So closely related to location is what certification or legal documentation do they have? Right? Recently, what is trending is MSB, FinTrack, and the likes, right? You should know what those things stand for and how some of them are not regulatory bodies per se. They are just bodies people report to. You should want to know that, right? Just so, even if for cosmetic reason, know it and put it down. Now then, the next thing is ownership. Who owns the business? Now, this is a difficult one to crack because, like I mentioned, if they are owned by some Asians, they could just use other people to front the business. It could even be owned by a Nigerian, and the Nigerian knows that if I start a business in Nigeria and I put my name, people won't follow, right? I started a cooperative with some friends. The return is not heavy, but safety of funds is almost 110%. But because it's Nigeria and you are earning in Naira, where there are schemes people are earning in dollars, it's still existing, but it's not thriving as much as I would want it to. Right? So they may go use foreign bodies to stand, or foreign people to stand as the CEO. So that's why it's difficult to crack. But at least you should know. So what are the things you're looking at? This owner, is the person known? Does he have a track record? You want to know, has this person been involved in certain schemes that crashed before? Why did it crash? Was it a scam, rug pull, or normal, natural business, events? Businesses die every day. I mean, over 90% of businesses that start die within the first 5 years. It's normal. Businesses die every time. I mean, even humans die, right? So you want to know, does that person have verified social media handles, right? That predates the start of the company. There are some social media handles that happen as the company is just being registered. But does he have one that predates? Does that person have his CV online? And by CV, I'm not talking about the normal curriculum vitae if you're looking for a job. If this person says, I've worked in XYZ before, can that be verified? Right? Those are some things you want to look out for. That doesn't mean if they are not verified, we still will not do it. But it just adds up to the things you want to see. There are about 14 items here, right? If you have red flags in more than half of them, you might just want to say, okay, I don't want to do this. Right? But it's going to be rare for you to see green flag on all the 14 items. Practically almost impossible in this space, right? Now, do they do affiliates? Do they do MLM? Do they do all of that? Right? If they are doing MLM, then you need to add some level of check to the information you have, because what you have out there is many people being marketers. They will tell you exactly what you want to hear. From my experience, this is what I noticed. If you are asking them if you join a company, maybe within the first 1 month, you ask some questions, and those questions will be very tough, right? They'll find it difficult to answer those questions. By the time you come back, maybe 2 days later, maybe they're having another meeting and you ask those questions, they'll have perfect answers for those questions. So it's like they are making up the answers as time goes on just to get people convinced, right? So you want to ensure that you are not listening to somebody who is an all-out marketer, right? An all-out marketer will tell you what you want to hear, right? But do they have affiliates? If the answer is yes, affiliates, it means that if you play in the affiliates part, you could also break even faster. So a business that have affiliates, how do they pay, right? All of those things can determine whether you break even faster and everything. And note, not everybody must do the affiliate part. And I've mentioned in several meetings, even when we're discussing that you don't have to talk to everybody you know to do affiliates. You could go 100% online. You could go 100% online to do your affiliate marketing, and even banks do that now. Now, then you look at payments. How do they pay? Is it weekly, daily, monthly? Can you withdraw any time of the day, like Lucky and the Rice, like COTP? Or do you have to wait for weekends like IPC, or month end like some other ones? Right, you want to look at that. That will also determine how quick you can get your money out. You want to look at that, right? So if you are looking at the business, put it there. You want to look at everything at a glance and tell yourself, okay, because of this, I'm doing this, or I'm not doing it. Right, let's look at the profit share, or in other words, how the company makes their money. You must be able to answer, how do they make their money? From this scheme, how do they make their money? For example, in COTP, if you've tried it and you check out, they are paying 0.3% per circle. If you check, if you sat down, you've done your calculation. Let's say while you are looking for immediate competition of others, you find one that is in Canada, or one that is in Nigerian naira if you're in Nigeria. You could actually calculate the profit they are going to make. You will notice that what they are paying you is smaller than the profit that they are making. Then you still go ahead again and now calculate 30% of your own profit and deduct it from the balance. You discover that if the company is actually trading like they claim they are, then they are making money, right? Then they are making money. So how does the company make money? Is the company making money from, I mean, can you defend how they make money, right? Can you defend it? If you can't defend it, then why should you be doing it, right? So you need to look how is the company making money. Some company make money from profit shares, like those who do PAM, MAM, and all of those. They do company share, profit share, and the likes, right? Look at the website. This website, when was it registered? What was the lifespan, right? Although some of these systems are getting smarter, they can register it, they can give it 10 years life. I mean, to pay for 10 years is how much? Less than how many hundreds of dollars? I doubt if you get to thousands to pay for 10 years. And there are some systems that have crashed 6 years ago. Their website is still running and it's still giving people money every day, right? And that is, I think I need to explain that here. Because you are going to your back office and you are seeing profits entering, doesn't mean that you are making profit. What you have at your back office for most systems is program run. Is a program that is running it. If they tell it come back every day and drop certain percent, especially for those that promise you fixed percentage, like MetaFi and some other ones that promise you fixed percentage. What you are seeing here is a program. Your money is not the one sitting there. And I've explained this before. If you have a bank app, that one million naira you're seeing in your bank app, right? That is not your money. It's a program that put that 1M there. Your money is physically sitting, right, in another program somewhere, and the physical money is sitting somewhere in a vault. It may not even be in a vault. It may be in a lender's hand. Somebody would have borrowed it, right? So if they say bank XYZ has crashed, you might still be seeing the money like this physically in your account, in your app, but you can't have access to it. You won't be able to withdraw it again because the entity holding your money has been dissolved. Same thing with these schemes, right? So you have some schemes that have crashed 6 years back, 5 years back. The system is still running, still generating income, but the entity is no longer existing. But again, it's good to know when was this the domain, when was it registered, when will it expire, right? You want to know that. Now, this is another very important one. Custody of funds. Who is holding the money? Who? I remember the very first meeting we had with IPC when I invited Nate specifically to address some of you here. And one of the questions we're asking is, who is holding the money? Now, if you are giving your money to somebody to hold, that is big red flag. Again, remember, I said, because it has red flag doesn't mean you won't do it. If there are other things, you could consider it. But if you are giving your money to somebody, it means the person can die, the person can disappear, and that is all about your money. It doesn't mean the person is a scammer, but the point is that anything can happen, and then you can't have access to your money, right? There are some schemes where you still have relative custody of your money, right? Like some will say, leave your money in Binance, our robot will trade it for you. You still have custody of your money, but it doesn't mean that because you're having custody simply means that you are risk-free, right? I remember I did a webinar on, who remembers the name of that crypto bot? Royal Q. I did a webinar on Royal Q. Royal Q had been in existence for a while and it had been moving around. And I did a webinar on it. And I mentioned that Royal Q is doing what I call dollar cost averaging. I did a video and I explained what dollar cost averaging is. Now, marketers went around and they were telling people, just put the something, you make money. And I said, no, you make money. If you want to make money using Royal Q, you should be a trader. It should just be that because it's difficult to find the exact low, then you are using dollar cost averaging to trade. Many people got into Royal Q, made money, but now they can't withdraw the money because as you are making money, it's using that money to trade for you again. So it's not that you are seeing the money. It's telling you are making money, but it's also using the money to trade. Now, when crypto dumps 15%, all the profit vanishes, quote and off quote. It disappears into thin air, even though you are still holding the assets. But you can't withdraw the money to go and buy something, right? So custody of funds is important. Who is holding the funds? If you take Palm accounts, for example, now, you need to open an account with the same broker, for instance, the person is trading with. Let's say copy trading. Those people that do copy trading, you open an account with their broker, and then you link your account to their account, and then they begin to trade for you. And every month or every week, as the case may be, they will share profit, right? That one, the money is sitting in your own account. In fact, if you're using a broker like FXTM, they even have a button where you can put a global stop loss. You could say, okay, I'm copying XYZ. If it's in a drawdown, the drawdown gets 25%, deactivate me. I don't want to copy him again. You lose 25%. Right? So please, custody of funds, very important. It will help you to determine whether you want to do it or not. Now, do they have enrollment fees? Is there an enrollment fee, and how often do you have to pay these fees? There are some that you pay certain money every single month. And maybe those monies are the things they use in supporting the affiliate marketing, right? But if you tell me that I'm going to make, I'll give you an illustration now. If you tell me that I'm going to pay $50 as fee every month, right? This is going to be monthly. If you tell me I'm going to pay this amount monthly, and the money I have to invest, if you are following what Bishop has said, he said if you have 1K, divide it into 5. It means you're going to use 200 each. And I'm going to pay a monthly fee of $50. You automatically know that that business is not for you. No matter the number of green flags it has, it's not for you. Right? If I can only invest $200, and in that $200, I'm going to make, let's say, 20% per month. 20% of $200 is $40. And I'm going to be paying a subscription fee of $50. Why should I do this business? It means I'll be losing $10 every month. Right? So even though it has some green flags, you want to know what is your running cost. If your running cost is such that it's not feasible, then the business may not be for you, except in cases where it is optional. For example, now if you are doing COTP and then you have to subscribe for auto clicker and it goes for $15 per month, it doesn't make sense for you to have a $20, $30. In fact, COTP, you can start with $9. It doesn't make sense for you to put in a $30, even a $50, and then use auto clicker for $15. You know, I mean, your running costs, you should be able to look at that, right? How transparent are they? Right? I explained how MAM and all of those PAM and Co can be transparent, right? You want to see their transparency. You look at the figures they post on their websites. It will also help you. Some of them will tell you you've been in existence since 2019, but you can't trace anything to them in 2019. Some will tell you that we have reached out to about 100,000 customers, but you know clearly that they just started 2 weeks ago. There's no way they could have gotten 100,000 customers. Some of those things hint you of the fact that they just copied somebody's website and pasted. Again, it may not mean anything. It may not debar you from doing the business, but you just want to know if what you are using to determine whether they are good or not is something you can hold, that holds water, right? For instance, I'll give an example. When we started COTP, or when I started COTP, their website had some owners. They posted some owners on their website. Right now, they've removed those things. Let me see if I can find it. If you go to home and go to official here, you find those things. Right now, they have removed them. But then they had some owners, right? And those owners, the pictures they have, and they gave some names. Those pictures were pictures that were just picked out from the internet, right? They just picked it out from the internet. Those pictures have been used on several websites. So it automatically means that that face I'm seeing is not the owner of COTP. Even though they are saying he's the CEO, whatever, that face is false, right? So if you go to anybody who tells you the truth about COTP, they will tell you that the owner is unknown. Nobody knows the owner, right? So, of course, the fact that the owner is unknown is a red flag. You should know that, right? But that doesn't mean the owner cannot be known. They have MSB registration. You can track it out, but the owner is not out there talking with anybody. You want to know that, right? So their website figures, their website data, right? The website data, what are they saying? What are they claiming, right? Now let's look at the type of business. What is the type of business these people are doing? Now, out of everything here, the one I have gained a lot from recently is type of business. Now, if you've been in Simply Pips for a while, you know I do more of Forex trading than crypto. Prof has does stocks and recently synthetic indices, right? So looking out for business opportunities, there are many of them I analyze and I don't do, but I discovered that I seem to gain a lot just looking at their type of business. It opens my eyes to other things as outside traditional trading. And I tell you guys, there are many ways people can make money outside traditional trading. Unfortunately, in the spirit of focus, you can't be a master in all of them. You have to be a master in one or two or three at most, right? So you have to rely on the expertise of some other people in other sphere of business. But the point is that you should know about them so you could spread your risk. Recently, I mentioned MetaFi to us, right? I mentioned MetaFi to us recently. And I know I've been doing some small yield farming in crypto, but looking at MetaFi, they promise 1% daily if you're investing less than $2,500. And they promise 3.3% daily if you are doing above 2,500 daily work days, excluding Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Now, with my understanding of yield farming, I do yield farming basically on I use a back end in Binance, then one in KuCoin, and those things give like 0.3%, 0.5% daily, right? Some of them, even if you go to yield farms, traditional yield farm like Aave and Compound, I'm talking about protocols now. Yeah, for established tokens, you could get 24% APY or APR, depending on how they want to use it. Then for some tokens, you could get as high as 240% per annum, annual percentage yield or return, right? Now, when I did the calculation for MetaFi, this is what they are saying. Okay, let's start with, we have about 22 days in a month, working days in a month. If I look at 1 year, that will be times 12. That puts me at 264. If I'm looking at 3.3 per day, that gives me about 871 APR. That is massive, right? So I went to their Telegram group within the week to go and raise some dust. Like, even on the WhatsApp, even on the Facebook, how is this possible, right? You guys are giving us something slightly higher than the industry standard. If you are on the 1% per day, yeah, I mean, there are many schemes that can give you that. Many schemes in the DeFi ecosystem, decentralized finance, can give you that. But 3.3 per day, you know, and they mentioned Aave and they mentioned Compound. I went to look at Aave and Compound. To cut the long story short, there are some guys I follow on Twitter, and I got an email from one of them, Crypto Banter. I went, I checked, and then I came here. Now look at this, 753 API, 1,625 API, right? Some have insane amounts. Insane amounts. I'll leave it to us. If you want this, I can send this to the group later on. Go read it. But the point is that there are some insane things happening, right? I mean, some mind-blowing things happening. Now, the way you can understand the opportunities there and perhaps get opportunities outside the business you are analyzing is by knowing the type of business they are engaging. You should know it. You should know it. And after knowing it, you might look at all the red flags and decide not to do it. But what just happened? Your mind just opened to another way you could make money outside using your two hands, and you might not be an expert. Now, remember, in all of this, there is still risk. Even if they said you are doing 220,000 API per year, I will only invest what I would invest per opportunity. If it blows and give me 220, praise God, right? You won't say because it's going to give you more, then you go and put in more. You'll be claiming, like somebody asked us in the group, that how long will COTP last? And I said, okay, you should look for the information. When he finds it, share it with us. We'll be very happy with him. In fact, if he can share it with us, if it happens to the tier, I'll dash the person $5,000. Right? I mean, some questions, you wonder why we ask them. Right? But type of business, massive. Yield farming, massive. NFT mining, massive. Minting, rather. There are some NFT minting platforms, massive ones. In fact, one of you asked me about PLCU the last week Thursday, and I told you I heard about PLCU in December, and I didn't do it, and I gave you my reasons why I didn't do it. But guys, tomorrow I'll be inviting you. I'll be dropping a link inviting you guys to listen to somebody talk about PLCU 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I had to go to Lagos. I had a meeting in Lagos 2 days ago, and some of the guys, they were trying to introduce me to PLCU, and I vehemently refused. And I gave them my reasons, and they just couldn't answer my questions. But it turned out that they were marketers. Of course, marketers most times can't answer anything, right? What they are looking at is the rewards coming to them, affiliate rewards. But then they put somebody online, and the person seemed to be making some sense with his explanation. Now, it turns out that, yes, they spotted out the error they did in the previous project, and then they are engineering the price. The price presently of PLCU is engineered. Now, don't take my word for it. It doesn't mean that engineering means something bad won't happen. But it means that somebody is deliberately, or somebody has pre-planned what could happen, and then taking some steps to ameliorate whatever shortfall could come up. And then therefore, the tendency that it could be stable over a period of time has been put in place. Of course, nobody and no program sees all possible outcomes. And even if it does, well, it might not be able to see the outcome of the outcome of the outcome, if you get what I mean. And so I'll be inviting you guys 7 p.m. I'll drop the link, hop on. I'll be there to ask you a lot of questions. Of course, one of the reasons why I didn't look at PLCU was the person who introduced me at first in December was greedy. The startup amount the person was telling me was 1M, and I felt, look, I don't have people around me that can put in 1M, and if it gets missing, they won't jump into Third Mainland Bridge, right? But I'm hearing that it's much more lower. But again, tomorrow is just by the corner, right? So let's come and let's listen. Now, note, coming doesn't mean you must join. Do what I'm trying to explain something to you guys. Type of business. We're on type of business, right? I learned something from that conversation yesterday. I learned something, and later in future, perhaps if we have a Simply Pips crypto project, yeah, there are certain things you just have to keep learning. It doesn't mean you have to apply everything you learn instantly. But in the few times I've played around this industry, type of business has been the biggest eye-opener for me. It just shows me other ways I can make money. And some of them are insane, like DeFi lending and all of the likes. So how logical is the base business of the company? Of course, you can't answer this question if you don't know the type of business they are doing. How logical? I remember when we were discussing COTP, and I was explaining how they make the money, and Prof was trying to explain how the transaction, the circle ends. I was just explaining the selling, but there has to be the back end of the buying. You have to do the opposite of the initial transaction for the system for your trade to be complete. If you go into the market to buy a car, and you buy the car for $1,000, and you are a trader, you buy the car for $1,000, you've just done one part of the transaction. You need to sell that car for anything above $1,000. And then you can now say, okay, I've made a profit of XYZ above 1,000. Right? So buying the car and having it in your car store is just one part of the business. You have to do the reverse side, right? To be able to say, okay, I've made XYZ profit. So if you don't understand the type of business, then how can you explain the logic behind the company? Now, all of these things helps you in decision making. There are some opportunities when you look at it, it doesn't just make any logic. It's from the very beginning, it is screaming at you that this is a Ponzi and this is a scam. From the very beginning, right? So if the business doesn't make logic, if this, for instance, is red, then every other thing is red automatically. If you can't explain how they're making the money, then I mean, you shouldn't be in it at all, right? You may not know the owner, some other things may not be there. I mean, right? But if the way of making money is logical, yeah, well, yeah, no problem, right? Some businesses, the only way they make money is by recruiting new people, right? So it's not logical also. Now, last one I look at is method of funding, right? Crypto is on the increase, but crypto also comes with the fact that, well, blockchain has its pros and cons, right? It's largely not traceable. I'm using the word largely because if you use exchanges, well, we trace it somehow, if you do KYC and the likes, but sending money via blockchain is largely not traceable. So people can take money and disappear into the thin air, right? So if the method of funding includes bank and bank-related gateways, yes, it could put some form of legitimacy to the business. For instance, if I can pay with Perfect Money, if I can pay with MasterCard, if I can pay with Visa card, if I can use Skrill, if I can use PayPal to make deposits and also receive money, right? These are systems where they have check and balances, right? And to some extent, you could say, okay, this thing looks somewhat legitimate, right? If it is 100% strictly by crypto, it doesn't mean it is not legitimate, but it means if anything happened, even if you want to chase it legally, you might be in that legal battle for 9 years. I tell you, there are some crypto wallets that are under the watch of Federal Bureau of Investigation and other things, right, for years, and the person has not removed 1 penny out of it. The person is also leaving it. The person is going to leave it maybe for 10 years, 20 years, maybe, right? FBI cannot have access to it. The person is also not moving the funds around, but the money is there, right? And the person is alive, but it's not moving it. Recently, people were complaining that in Binance were freezing people's account. And what was Binance's response? The person's account is being investigated by FBI. So what happened? Let's say somebody stole money or got money by fraudulent means, and there've been complaints on that wallet, right? So the wallet, they are watching that wallet. Then somebody now comes and sends money. He sends money out to another wallet, maybe a cold wallet or a hot wallet, right? Then from that hot wallet, they now send money to another hot wallet, but this time sitting in Binance. Then you go to buy the crypto from the person, whether it is P2P or whatever. You see, they are tracing this. They are tracing that money. Once it gets here, they are going to block this account or freeze that amount. But if before they freeze it, you have bought through P2P, they will also come to your account and freeze that crypto, not your account. That crypto in your account will be frozen. If it takes them 11 months to conclude the investigation, you can't spend this money. right? And if it's huge, you will be asked some questions. How do you know this person? You have to prove that, okay, I don't know this person. It was through P2P. If it's P2P, for instance, it's easier. You can always prove, I mean, Binance or whichever exchange will know that it was P2P. So that's easier to prove, right? But if you bought it maybe outside a structured escrow group like a P2P, you have to prove that you don't know this person, right? And then this person will have to prove where he got this money from, that he doesn't know them, because all they're trying to do is track who this person is, right? So it's tough when it comes to crypto. Crypto makes it easy for us to move funds up and down, but it also assists money laundering, fraud, and some other things. So what is the method of funding, right? If they have other means aside crypto, is a plus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'll stop, right? These are the things you should look out for, right? So some people have told me about something. I wanted us to discuss Novatech today and some other things, but I just felt, look, why do all of this? Tell your guys what they should do. Somebody introduces a new business to you. The first thing is not to sign up and send registration link, hoping that, okay, Bishop Bragg join, several persons will join and I'll make money. Answer these questions. Once you've answered them, then it makes it easy for a third party to reassess and then, make decision. You must know also that if you follow the advice I give, where I say have a maximum of 5, if you're in 5 already, no matter how sweet an investment looks like, don't go and borrow money to put in. Let it pass. Except you are willing to collapse completely one you have here and then put the money into the new one. Then you still have to, then it must be that, okay, these parameters here is very, very green. But if you are withdrawing it simply because of capital, oh boy, anything can happen. And because of reward, anything can happen. The one you are running away from may last 6 months, and the one you are jumping into may just last 2 months. So what have you done? Right? But what will determine whether you should close one investment and bring it back here? This table is what is going to determine that. This table is what determines which you should go in for. This table is what determines which you should even look out for, right? So as I wrap up, I'm advising us that we should do this and spend more time in type of business. This is what can transform our life. Type of the owner is not the main thing. All of these other things here are data we look at to determine which we should invest in.